And welcome to Flightdeck Live, powered by SportBuff, where if you go to sportbuffshop.com and use the promo code ALSFlightdeck10 at checkout, you will save 10% off your entire order. I'm Tim Capper, along with Cliffy D. Pine from day one from Saint-Jerome of Alouettes Training Camp 2025. Hey, it's glad to be back on the field, isn't it, Cliff?
Oh, what a feeling. What a feeling to finally be able to see some honest-to-goodness football again. Guys getting out there, smacking pads, throwing the ball around. Beautiful sunny day here in Saint-Jerome as well. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start to training camp.
No, you could not. I mean, and as I said, it like every year, even though as much as you may be following the Alouettes, it really still was needed to have a scorecard to find out a lot of these new names that were on the roster for 2025.
Yeah, actually, it turned out quite a few guys had switched their numbers yet again. Last year, we saw that with a couple of players. Sure enough, once again, this year, a couple of players, most notably, Jeffrey Contain-Arcou is now number 9. Jose Maltos is now number 19. Stevie Scott III is number 8. There's a couple others, but I mean, like, again, as you said, you practically need to program or make sure the website is updated with all the proper names and numbers.
Exactly. And, we were talking about how it was here last year for the very first time in Saint-Jerome. But the second year through, so far, so good. They made some slight modifications, as we happened to mention on the podcast, to how they were doing the training sessions and whatnot. But so far, so good. I really can't complain.
Yeah, we're actually the field that we're standing on right now is the field that they're supposed to be practicing on. Last year, they couldn't because the CFLPA didn't approve of it because of the conditions of it. Clearly, it's in a much better condition now because the Alouettes were able to have their entire practice on this field as opposed to going back and forth, as there are 2 actual football fields here on this campus. But this year, right now, it's the one field. Everybody's here. That's it.
And they did make some slight modifications to how the fans are able to interact with the players itself. I think it was a lot better. It's been done a lot better this year than it was last. The players don't seem to be as stuck into cattle, but they weren't being sequestered. They weren't being sequestered like they were last year, and it was a lot. It was quite a bit different, and so far, again, I kind of like it, even though it is just day one.
Yeah, I think the energy, too, is off the charts. I think there's a lot of excitement, really, when you think about it. I mean, I think this team, as it sits right now, a lot of people are expecting big things out of this team, as they should, because, again, 2 years ago, they won the Grey Cup. Last year, they had the CFL's best overall record. So, I mean, 2025 is definitely a year where a lot of expectations are going to have to be met for this team.
Exactly. And speaking of the team itself, we did find out some interesting information, as we mentioned on the podcast, actually right at the very end of the podcast this past week. Something that we had not seen before when it came to the roster. Some of the guys that we had that we expected to be starting camp on the roster this year are actually starting the year on the veteran injured list. And we did find out some more information, but who are the that we mentioned in the pod? Who are the 2 that are currently on that veteran injured list?
And to be noted, there's only 2 people that are allowed to be on this list, as we had learned this today. Mustafa Johnson and Joshua Donovan have now been designated as injured veteran.
Yeah. And what we happen to find out also is that it seems to be, from the information that we found out, it is very similar to what a regular injured list would be during the regular season. I posed the question, is it as similar as that these guys have not been medically cleared? And we were told that's exactly what it is. These guys were not medically cleared. And I was surprised, we saw what happened with Mustafa Johnson last year and how he finished the season. I guess these 2 guys are not ready to go, at least currently, for the 2025 season.
Yeah, if anything, this does give them a chance to recuperate a little bit further and still be with the team, still learn the drills, still learn the playbook, learning all of the things that you need to know so that when you are medically cleared, you're ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. From what we saw today, Cliff, as I said, it was day 1. But there were still some interesting highlights that I think that we saw. I mean, some of the guys did stand out again, checking our numbers list as we were doing to see what player they were. But for you in particular, was there anything that stood out, whether it be from a rookie or whether it be from a veteran on the field?
Oh, my. I have to say, a couple of the rookies that we have drafted in the CFL draft this year so far have showed up ready to go. Again, it's still extremely early, so let's temper expectations just a little bit. But my goodness, Riley McLeod and Keanu Yazbek, very impressive with what I saw so far. Again, still a very small sample size compared to how the rest of camp's going to go, but I'm definitely liking what I see from those guys so far.
And obviously, I think it was nice too, so with the addition of Sean Oakman, recently acquired Sean Oakman through free agency. I think he did quite a good job today, settling in and I guess becoming one of the guys, so to speak, on the D line.
Yeah, when you talk about the D line, like, those are just some big meaty men getting out there and smacking the crap out of each other. That's the thing you absolutely positively love to see, and we're very excited to see what comes about from this, because let's face it, there are some dudes on this defensive line. I mean, and Oakland is just one of several massive guys that can get out there and play ball, and I'm really excited to see what they're able to do, not just in a camp setting, but also when preseason gets underway and the regular season starts as well.
And coming up next week, obviously, with the intra-squad game, I think will be able to tell us a little bit more about what these guys are able to do, even though it will be in a controlled environment type of thing. But if you are planning on doing something next week, by all means, come out to Saint-Jerome on Saturday, because for the intra-squad game, it's going to be, if it's as fun as it was last year and as attended as well as it was last year, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Everybody looks good day one of camp, right? I mean, because you're getting out there, and I won't say you're not going full bore, but at the same time, you're not going to do anything over strenuous to hurt yourself. Whereas during the inter-squad game this coming Saturday, I guess it is now, you're going to see a little bit more of that game time action. So you're going to get a chance to see a little bit more what these guys are able to do in an actual game situation. So yeah, if you haven't already, folks, make your plans to come out for this. Last year was close to a little over 4,000 people that were here in Saint-Jerome on this field, to be able to watch this team have their intra-squad game, and an absolutely fantastic atmosphere. So I have a feeling the Alouettes will be doing the exact same thing they did last year, and just inviting everybody out. It's going to be a tailgate atmosphere. You're going to have the game. You're going to have introductions. You're going to meet players afterwards. It's going to be a great way, I think, to really get people even more excited about this upcoming Alouette season.
And maybe early, we've already checked the weather so far, but at least so far, it seems to be the weather is supposed to be very nice for the intra-squad game. That's all that really matters. So it's
fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly. Any other things that we happen to notice today, Cliff? Besides the players we've already mentioned before, other things that you may have noticed in particular.
Well, I should come to absolutely nobody's surprise. Davis Alexander taking those first team reps. My God, absolutely outstanding. And McLeod Bethel Thompson, no slouch either. I mean, a lot of people were kind of uncertain what was going to happen as far as him being exchanged for Cody Fajardo. I mean, MBT came in and he was ready to go. He looks really crisp. Really, the one that threw me off though was his cadence, and maybe it's just a simple matter of not knowing him as a quarterback, in an actual practice setting. I think a couple of players may have been thrown off just a little bit by how he actually barks out his commands. But once you get that figured out, I mean, his passes were nice and crisp, like just right on the dot with everything. So as far as Davis Alexander and MBT working together, I think things are going to be just fine.
Yeah, and obviously our veteran wide receivers, they were doing a great job today. And seeing Austin Mack back on the field at a full 100%. It was nice seeing Tyson Philpott on the field for the time that he was that he was practicing today too. It's just, again, it's going to be nice to have a lot of these guys back that may have gone through some major injuries last year. But hopefully, again, be able to get up to the potential that we know that they can do, and just be able to ball out for this 2025 season.
Yeah, we were able to talk with receivers coach Michael Leonello about all of these receivers, and you can see the look in his eyes. He's excited. He's jacked for this. And you should be too, Alouettes Nation, because we got some really good receivers on this team. And with Davis Alexander slinging the rock, I mean, the potential to score touchdown after touchdown is huge. It's absolutely huge this year.
Now, obviously, with the inter-squad coming up, it's going to be very interesting to see what it comes to these quarterbacks that we currently have in camp. I think we're now at 5, including the intern, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
But again, Davis Alexander looks sharp today. MBT looks sharp because it's really our first real chance at seeing him live, I guess we could say, rather than being on the opposing sideline. Caleb Evans, hey, by the way, speaking of, great to see Caleb back, considering what happened last year. See him be able to come back from his injury and stuff like that. James Morgan here, and then again, our intern from the University of McGill.
Yeah, and let's not forget Jonathan Senecal. I know a lot of people have been wanting to know how is he going to be at camp. But again, let's not forget, first day. So don't expect him to be put in the Hall of Fame right away. But I mean, the reps that he got, as small as they were, he did a lot with them, and he was able to impress. So I mean, I'm really curious over the next few days to see how he progresses and how many reps he actually gets a chance to pull off, especially with, again, Davis Alexander and MBT, and even these other quarterbacks as well. it's almost going to be like, fighting for table scraps, but I think the Alouettes truly do believe in him. I think they're going to give him every opportunity to shine as much as possible. And again, we could be seeing him getting maybe even extended reps in that inter-squad game on Saturday.
That will be interesting to see how they're actually going to work that out when it comes to the reps that the quarterbacks will get. And it's really with everybody else who's going to be considered team. I guess we could say, well, if they do it the same way as they did it last year, it doesn't matter what color they're wearing jersey. It's going to be the exact, depending on where they fall in with Team A, Team B, et cetera, et cetera. But before we finish up our first broadcast of Flight Deck Live of the year, Cliff, here from Saint-Jerome, any interesting tidbits that you noticed, funny quirks, or whatever it may be, that really is going to stick out to you specifically for today? Well, I give one. It's the you weren't here, thank God, and thank God we scheduled our show when we did. But it was the hook and ladder truck, or what do they call them, zip truck, the cherry pickers. The cherry picker here was moving basically from the field all the way around, and then we were like, "Can you please turn off your beeping sound, because we are trying to do a show." So that finally got figured out, thank God, and he's just off camera here. But anything else that you happen to notice?
I said it before and I'll say it again. I could sit for hours listening to Coach Greg Quick coach up these players. My goodness. And whether you're a fresh-faced rookie or a grizzled veteran, it's funny. The way he talks, it almost feels like he's talking down to you, but he's not. Like, you can tell he's truly coaching. He wants you to be at your absolute best. And his coaching style is second to none as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's hilarious to hear because it almost sounds like he's really giving you the business. Mm-hmm. But in all reality, it really is just a matter of he believes in you. He wants you to be your absolute best. And that's exactly how he coaches. And I think the players respond to it as well, because they flub out every once in a while. That's going to be expected, especially the rookies too. This is their first camp. You got to sort of give them a little bit of leeway. But at the same time, he's basically telling you, like, okay, you know what you did was fine, but maybe now do this, and you're going to see a big difference. And I love that approach. I love the fact that he's not taking it easy on them. He's not handling them with kids' gloves. He's doing what he needs to do. He's going to turn these guys into professional football players.
He's treating them like they're professionals.
They're grown-ass men. You got to treat them like grown-ass men. And my God, I absolutely love the fact that he's on this team. I love the fact that he's coaching and doing what he does best. And it is just an absolute delight to see.
Yeah, I'll actually echo that too. And I kind of joked with you as we were sitting here. I said, are we actually going to be able to see the Greg Quick kicking coach kick? How do we do this? Blocked punt or block kick drill. Thank you. And we did. We did, and it was just as fun as it was watching it last year, because it's just a slightly different change in how it was done versus last year. But still, if you happen to touch that, whoever was designated the kicker on that kick to block it, you were going to hear it from him immediately. But he made a good point. It's like, you touch him, you're going to get a penalty. If Alouettes fans remember, that's exactly what happened last year in one of the games versus Calgary.
Absolutely. So, I mean, once again, it's simply a matter of, what you have to do when you're on this football field. It's just a matter of doing it again and again until you perfect it. And that's what Coach Quick is here to do. That's what all these coaches are here to do, is to get the absolute best possible out of each and every one of these players. Whether they end up making the roster or not, they're going to leave this camp better than they were when they came in.
Yeah, exactly. Stay tuned, obviously, to all of our socials, as we will have the podcast on this Wednesday. But also, stay tuned to everything else, because we are going to be here in Saint-Jerome for a few days over the next coming weeks, obviously. Inter-squad game. We will be here for holiday Monday practice, and maybe a few more of the practices during that same week. So stay tuned. So other than that, Cliff, 2025 has begun. It's day one again. On the road to Grey Cup 112.
Absolutely. You absolutely love to see it. And folks, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. So that way we go live. When we go live, you'll be notified about it. And if you're following us on the other platforms as well, make sure you're following, subscribe, however it is. Make sure you're a part of the flight crew, because as you can see, this is the one of several episodes of Flight Deck Live that you're going to be watching in 2025 this year. And we always want you on board with us.
Exactly. And once again, we do want to thank our powering sponsor, SportBuff. Again, if you go over to sportbuffshop.com, use the code ALS Flight Deck 10 at checkout, you will save 10% off your entire order. So for the last time today, but for the first time of many here in Saint-Jerome, for Cliffy D, I'm Tim Capper. We'll talk to you soon.